Hello, Cousin Johnny here. We'd like to thank our sponsors for the Buzzin' with Cousins show. We thank you. Thank you, that garlic stuff. If you like garlic, you're going to love it. Put it on just about anything. That garlic stuff. Tuesday, Alvarado Farmers Market, or go to thatgarlicstuff.com. Thank you. Thank you, Art. I Heart You Candles, located right in front of Fisherman's Wharf. Beautiful hand poured candles. These are very inspirational candles. Call Sherry at 574-9446, right in front of Fisherman's Wharf. They're great. Thank you, Max Fit Meals, 520 Fremont Street. Grab and go healthy meals. They're delish. On your way from home from work, go grab some, heat them up, and fantastic. Thank you, Suds Cyber Laundry, 709 Lighthouse, Pacific Grove. Great modern machines, big screen TV, coffee, and a great friendly staff. Thank you, Suds. Thank you, the Whiskey Club, 425 Alvarado Street. Over 400 whiskeys to choose from. Go in, relax, have a drink. They have a bottle shop. They have room for special events. The Whiskey Club, thank you. Thank you, storyteller, author, and all-around good guy, Tony Albano. Tony has written 3 books, the latest being Cherish, about a New York teenager and a nun find love. Thank you, Tony. And if you want to order the book or find out more about Tony, go to Tony, Tony, Albano, Albano, storyteller.com. Check it out. Thank you. Hello, Cousin Johnny here. How's everybody doing out there today? Everybody doing good? I got a really great show here, and I got a really special guest that I'm really happy to get on. And before further ado, let me introduce him. He's a musician, a composer, a vocalist. He's pretty much the voice of Monterey, and they call him the Maestro. Please welcome Lee Durley. Lee, how are you?
Hi, Johnny. Good to see you. I'm doing just fine.
Thank you so much for coming on, Lee. And I've been trying to get you on for a while. And it sounds like we got a little bit of an echo. And I'd like to thank you for what you've done over the years in the community. Doing fundraisers and playing for us and entertaining us over the years. So thank you for that.
Well, it has been my pleasure over the years, over the decades. This is a wonderful music community, and it's been my pleasure and an honor to be a part of it.
Okay, thank you so much. I got a little bit of an echo. Let me check something real quick. I think we might be okay. So, Lee, where are you from, and how did you get to Monterey?
Well, that's a long story, but I'll condense it in saying I called Denver, Colorado, my home because I went to junior high and high school there and college, and but I was born in Wichita, Kansas. Not too many people know that. In fact, I don't admit it to too many people. Not that I'm ashamed of it. It's just that I haven't spent much time in Wichita at all.
Right.
My father was a minister. Well, actually, he was a musician. before he became a minister in Wichita. And then we moved from Wichita to St. Louis, Missouri, to Bakersfield, California, to Sacramento, and then we ended up in Denver, and that catches me up to where I went to University of Colorado in Boulder, and I left there and went to Vegas, and had a good time in Vegas. That's where I met some of the people that we were able to bring to the Blues Festival, Lou Rawls, and uh, but it was a great time. And once I left Vegas, I went on the Silver Circuit tour, what they call Elko, Nevada, Lake Tahoe, and all of that. And I was just traveling around, just on the road. And in 1971, I was working with a chain of Mexican restaurants called Tia Maria's, and they had one down on Cannery Row. And I came into Cannery Row, and that was my first visit to Monterey in 1971. And that started it. And I stayed there, I think, for a year and a half or so, and then went to the Hyatt House, then went to the Ramada Inn. And one thing led to another. So I played all the clubs back in the 70s and the 80s, the Shutters and the Colony Club, River Inn, Han and Big Sur. Yeah, it was a great time. And then I started working for Amanetti's Music Store, just fixing little amplifiers and so forth. And they needed a certified technician for Hammond organ repair. So they sent me back to Chicago, and I became a certified organ technician, Hammond organ technician. And when I came back to Monterey, I went to MPC, took the electronics program. Yeah. And in the early 80s, I had an electronics repair shop. I had my own shop, just working on the musicians' amplifiers and most of the organs. I had a contract to service all of the organs out at the Fort Ord chapels and most of the local churches around the community here. So I was the organ tech for quite a while. And then and after that, let's see what, all the time I was working in different places. I worked at the Lodge at Pebble Beach for quite some times. And then Sly Night Flies, I was there for 14 years. Every Wednesday night with Hal Cochran and Eric Ton, we were hosting a blues jam session. Wonderful session. From people from all over the world came to that session. As a matter of fact, I was over in the south of France doing a blues festival. And someone came up to me and he says, "I remember you, Sly Night Flies." Sly Night Flies in Monterey. So yeah, that was quite a session. And also worked at the Highlands Inn for about 12 years and the Monterey Plaza Hotel for about 10 years. And currently I'm still working. I'm still playing. I don't want to call it work. Right. I'm still working at Chibo every Tuesday night with Bill Spencer. And then at every Thursday night with Joe Indents at Cypress Inn, and we're still doing the last Sunday of the month jam session. Interestingly, this started back in 1995. That's when we first started these last Sunday jam sessions, and it was a local jazz reporter here in Monterey called John Detro. I don't know if you remember him. But John Detro, he was very popular with all the musicians. And when he passed away, we gave him a celebration of life at the Ramada Inn. Yes. So many people came to that event and it was so popular and so talked about that. That's why we continued doing it every last Sunday. And here it is all these years later, almost 20 years later. No, more than, 23 years later, and we're still doing it. And right now we're at the Embassy Suites, and we call it Sweet Jazz. Nice. Mm-hmm. And our guest coming up, in fact, next Sunday, May 28th, I think it is, our guest will be Kay Bowler and her blues band. Oh, I love her. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That should be quite an exciting time. So that kind of capsulizes my coming to Monterey and what I've been doing. As you mentioned before, I was part of the Blues Festival in Monterey Bay. Yeah, you were on the board for years. For 26 of the 27 years. And then after that, we started the Monterey International Blues Festival. And we had 4 years under our belt before the pandemic came along. And it's still on it's still on the table. In fact, we're meeting next Monday again to see what the next plan for the MIBF is. So that kind of totals my my existence here in Monterey. But it's been such a pleasure.
I hope that you can get that festival going again, the blues.
We will do all we can.
Yeah.
It was my passion for the 26 years with the Blues Festival. And
Lee,
yes,
we got something in common because I got my first bartending job at Tia Maria.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What year was that?
1973, I think it was. The guy, I had just got out of the service, and out because there was only two places to go: Boiler Room or Tia Maria at that time.
Yeah,
so I was going out. I just got out of the service. Every night I was at Tia Maria. Every night. A guy that I knew told me, goes, "You're here every night. We need like a guy just to like bar back, get ice and whatever." I go, okay. So then that's how I got the job. And then one day a bartender called in sick. And then at that era, before the aquarium, there was, it was dead during the winter time. The guy said, "I don't know what I'm doing." He goes, "Don't worry about it. The waitress will know more than you. Just stand there and pour a couple of drinks. That's all we need you for." Well, anyway, that started my bartending, like a 30-year career.
All right. Well, I didn't know that you were bartender
in Monterey. And then I'm going to tell you something funny. One night, Tommy Verga and the Boiler Room challenged us to a touch football game outside of Tia Maria with those lights. And we told everybody at the bar, well, about 3 o'clock in the morning, all the customers were on the side, and we ended up playing this touch football game with our bow ties on. And it was crazy.
Those were the days.
It was really crazy. So, Lee, the jazz jam once a month started at the Hyatt.
No, it actually started at the Ramada Inn.
Oh, Ramada Inn.
Yeah, it's the Red Lion now, but at
the Red Lion,
the Ramada Inn. That's when it started, and we started doing them there, and then we moved to the Hyatt House after that, and we've hit several different locations. Since then.
And you've played quite a bit at the
Embassy Suites, and we've been there maybe about 10 years.
I just want to tell the listeners out there that Embassy Suite jazz jam is. You got some of the best jazz musicians on the Monterey Peninsula.
That's because they live here, they work here, they're so cooperative and generous in spending, sharing their time and their talents and their energy, and we look forward to it every last Sunday.
Yeah, everybody enjoys it. The thing about it too is it's not an all-nighter. What is it, like just 3 hours in the afternoon and you're home?
3 hours thing, and the challenge is to get all the people who would like to participate, to make sure everyone gets a little piece of the action. So that's basically my function at these jam sessions, just to coordinate and make sure everyone gets a chance to share their talent.
Now, is that all year, or do you stop like partway through the year or something?
Well, only at I think it's at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Generally, during the holidays, we will take it off the calendar. But 10 months out of the year, we try to be consistent.
That's really great. And we lost those couple of years with the pandemic.
You're right. Yeah, we were out for a couple of years.
But now I think it's back strong.
Oh yeah, it's back stronger than ever, I think. And we have the whole atrium in the local Embassy Suites, and that seats are well over 100 people, and generally it's full.
Yeah, and I noticed that there's a lot of some young singers and musicians, like 16 years old or something.
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating about this area is you've got such great teaching. Well, you've got the Dennis Murphy School of Music. They
Oh, yes, God,
promote
that's great.
the youngsters, and they've got Gary Meek, who's a wonderful teacher, and Janice Pearl, she's a wonderful vocalist
Janice, great.
that
Yeah.
teaches the kids. And so, these instructors bring those kids to the sessions to get them featured, and that's sometimes their first exposure to the professional music world. So we're real proud of all the kids.
Oh, it's just, it's really amazing. You'll see like a young girl playing this gigantic stand-up bass. It's like, wow.
Yeah, we love it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's the gratification.
Now, I remember, I got a classic car, and you played at the Park Lane. There used to be a classic car day during the during the car week, and you played there, and they did it probably for 6 years or something. But I really enjoyed that because you and Joe.
No, actually, that was Ray Paul, my
Oh,
partner.
Ray, was it Ray? Okay, because
Yeah,
of the cars. They were in the 50s, 60s, and you were playing that era of music. You were playing Poison Ivy, and I don't know what it was.
Music from the 50s and 60s.
I really enjoyed that, Lee. So sounds good. So we've got let's recap. So Lee is what, Tuesday at the Cypress Inn?
Tuesday at Chibo, downtown Monterey, and
Okay.
Thursdays at Cypress Inn in
Okay.
Carmel. The last Sunday of the month at the Embassy Suites, and during the day I still work Park Lane and Merrill Gardens and about a half a dozen other places, assisted living facilities, and I started doing that with Ree Brunel. Do you remember Ree?
Yes.
Ree Brunel. She used to do these shows at assisted living facilities, and I would volunteer just carrying her gowns. Because she would change gowns, but she'd do 3 numbers, and then she'd go in the back room, and I'd do a couple of numbers, and she'd come out with a new gown on. She was just
I know. I remember her playing at the Festa Italia.
Oh yeah,
with Mike Morata.
Yeah, she was a
I
class.
think Johnny Catalano.
Oh yeah, Johnny. Well,
Yeah.
he on Chibo.
On the clarinet. So
Mhm.
Lee, you've played at the Jazz Festival, right?
I was featured in the Jazz Festival on 3 different occasions.
What
with
an
some of
honor.
the locals, with Andy Weiss and Jandy Noel and some of the local people here. But on 3 different occasions,
That's quite an honor because that's the longest running jazz festival of all time and the most prestigious.
Yes,
So
it is.
congratulations on that.
Well, thank you.
So Lee, we're going to let you go. I know you're busy, but I want to tell the listeners out there to go check Lee out Tuesday, Thursday, and the last Sunday of the month at Embassy Suite. And we're going to say goodbye to Lee, and we're going to play a little segment. So everybody stay on and listen to Lee, and you're really going to enjoy this song. So Lee, thank you so much.
Okay, one thing I'd like to say,
Yeah.
is, this community is
Yes.
remarkable. It is. They are so generous. During the pandemic, when I had no work at all, I was about to leave. I was packing to leave. This community came together and raised funds for me to stay here. And because of this community, I am still here today. And then when my wife passed away, this community came together and purchased her a bench, which is so prominently displayed at the Seaside Memorial Gardens at the top of and this community I owe this community so much, and I will be forever indebted. I will continue to give back, but I'll never be able to repay what they've done for me. And I thank individually and collectively the people in this community.
We thank you so much, Lee, and we thank you for what you do.
All right. My
Okay,
pleasure.
Lee, I appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you at the Jazz.
All
So
right.
everybody stay on and listen to Lee. Thank you.
It's happening in Monterey, a place I love so. There's so much in Monterey, like Cannery Row and cypress trees and ocean breeze, with boaters out on the bay. The sun gets in on the fun by chasing the fog away. I'll stay here in Monterey and never think twice. I lost my heart to Monterey. It's a piece of paradise. You may say I'm boasting, but the best Central coasting is happening in old and new Monterey. Every sight, there's so much here in Monterey. The aquarium's a delight. The tourists stream and love to dream about living on this shining shore. There's fisherman's wharf, the artist port, and natural beauty galore. We're blessed here in Monterey, by the sea. It does your soul good in Monterey, the only place I want to be. You may say I'm boasting, but the best Central coasting is happening in old and new Monterey. Monterey, Monterey.
That was great. Lee Durley, thank you so much for what you do. And that was really great. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And Cousin Johnny out. We will see you next week.